Welcome to First Take Live from San Francisco. We are just 2 days away from Super Bowl 60 here in Santa Clara between the Seahawks and the Patriots, and 2 days away from the Super Bowl means we got to talk all things Patriots and Seahawks. Hello, everyone. I am Shay Cornett. Stephen A. Smith is with us. Cameron Newton is with us. Ryan Clark, Marcus Spears. Hello and good morning to everybody.
Hello and good morning.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. The sun is just coming up here in San Francisco. People behind us are excited because, again, the Super Bowl is 2 days away. Ryan Clark and Cam Newton, you both played in Super Bowls during your time in the league. So when you wake up on a Friday morning before the Super Bowl, what is this week? What is this day like?
From the losers' perspective, just a week. Just a week. No, listen. I think it's a lot of emotions, and I think you cannot treat this game like it's a regular game because it is definitely not. I mean, that's what you try to tell yourself, but you have to also acknowledge this is the first time you're experiencing things for the first time. This is the game that you watched all your life. Yeah. And now being in that moment, you have to start realizing when you're going on the field, hey, this person isn't. All these natural emotions happen, and it's for you to be able to understand what it is, acknowledge it, and still be in the moment and be the best version of it.
The week is actually the storm before the calm, though. Nothing about this week is normal. People like Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark and Stephen A. Smith and Cam Newton, Shay Cornett, we remind the players daily that this is not a normal game. Your schedule is all over the place. There are more people in town than you ever have. You can't get the treatment you normally get. You don't get to study in the way that you normally do. And then on Saturday, something beautiful happens. You change hotels. You're not with your family anymore. You're not around the reporters anymore. It's just like every other Saturday. It's you and your boys. And when you stand there for the national anthem, all the feelings of what the 4-year-old who picked up a football like me that played defensive end for my daddy thought about doing in his backyard. When my mom brought me to the homecoming parade when I was 8 years old and they crowned me king because I was the quarterback of the 8-year-old football team. All of those emotions come rushing back in until you hit somebody the first time. And when you hit somebody for the first time, you realize you've played this game for free your entire life, and now you're playing it for a king's ransom, but it's still a child's game. This one just happens to be the biggest one that's played every single year.
Real quick, just a question. I don't know whether it's weird or not, but it came to my mind. How much does the 2-week break, the 2-week period between the conference championship game and the Super Bowl help? Not just going from 1 week to the next, but actually having that 2 week, a full week before Super Bowl.
I think it hurts.
Yeah, it hurts.
I think
it doesn't help.
I would rather play the game the next Sunday because you do all the football work the week before. And when you're here, you're thrown in all of these different directions trying to prepare for the most important game in your life. I would rather we played, we had our week, we got here on Saturday, and it was the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl week is for us, not for the team.
Right.
Yeah. What I would say, too, to add on that is it's a little bit of both because on one side, you get a lot of treatment, right, for the guys that's been battling nicks and bruises and things like that. But the bad thing about it is, I remember going into that game, I felt overly prepared and I overthought certain things. And as that game was happening, we started to get back to simple day one install things that, man, listen, we're just throwing, double slants with a flat. It's just common offense that going into this, you can overthink, overanalyze, and it's still just football.
I'm going to tell you what, the first drive, you feel it, though. The kickoff and then the first drive. Every time they snapped the ball, I was like, Lord, this is Super Bowl. Are they finna throw a bomb to Larry Fitzgerald
right now? Let's see if 25 ready.
We have two quarterbacks that are playing for their first ever Lombardi this weekend, right? And Drake Maye and Sam Darnold. And so, depending on who wins, who could make a bigger statement? Which quarterback?
Yeah, I got Sam Darnold in this one. I think. Me and RC talked about it last week. The resiliency that you have to be in this position as Sam Darnold after your career. Look, I don't care what Sam Darnold says. He talked about doing the process, and, I just stuck with it. There was doubt. Doubt creeps in when you play for 3 teams in your first 6, 7 years in the NFL. When you're trying to figure out where is home for me. Can I consistently play at a level that people will think that I'm a starter, and an organization, more importantly, will think that I'm a starter? The other thing is this too, man. You get drafted 3rd overall, this is the expectation as a quarterback.
Yep.
This is what a franchise is putting. They're putting that type of stock into what you are as a football player coming out of college, saying one day, this guy that we took this high and paid this much money will get us to where you're supposed to be when you draft a 3rd overall pick. Look at what we put into the labor that's put into taking a quarterback, right? Cam was the 1st overall pick. Yeah. It was a no-brainer, right? But a lot of times with these guys, you are breaking them down to the nth degree to see what they can be. And Sam Darnold, no matter what he says to anybody or me, this league will humble you like nothing else. And for him, early in his career, not to find his footing and to be playing in the Super Bowl on his team, that is unbelievable to me. And I think he has more in this situation.
I agree with you. I would tell you, I think that as great as Drake Maye has been, and he almost won the league MVP last night, we'll get into that later. If you think about Sam Darnold, with everything that you just said, also take into account how good it would be for the NFL. From the standpoint of watching him, Brock Purdy's been in the Super Bowl. He in the same division. Matthew Stafford, the Super Bowl champion, he in the same division. Jared Goff is in the same conference. Caleb Williams has arrived. He's in the same conference. Okay, Jordan Love in the same conference. Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts in the same conference. Hurts, the Super Bowl champion. You start getting excited about, okay, just like you got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen in the AFC. Look at the NFC. If Sam Darnold pulls this off and goes out there and plays lights out and completely shreds all of those demons that you just alluded to, it just makes it for a much more exciting NFL season. Is great already.
Yeah.
But imagine what it's going to be in the future.
As Stephen A. would say, that's a beautiful thought.
It's a beautiful thought.
It's so eloquently put. It's so eloquently put.
Let her roll.
But you're wrong.
There we go.
Because you know who it is?
I got you.
Drake Maye has if Drake Maye wins this game, he becomes an instant legend. There are no people or no quarterbacks who have won Super Bowls in their first 2 years who aren't legends of their particular organizations. Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Kurt Warner was in before his 2nd year, Russell Wilson. All of these people become a part of a conversation that is different, a part of a conversation that you changed an organization. Football is better now when the Steelers are great, when the Cowboys are great, when the 49ers are great, when the New England Patriots are great. Sam Darnold has this story that it can be told, and when it's told, it's about redemption, and it's about what happens if you're patient. It's about resilience. Drake Maye is going to be a story about excellence. Drake Maye is going to be a story about expectations, and what those expectations do when you're drafted, how you exceed those expectations by your 2nd year, and who you become because you have done a certain thing, which is take an organization that was a four-win organization 2 years in a row before you and winning a Super Bowl.
I'll say this. I'll go with Sam Darnold, and the reason is this. Actually being in the same quarterback room for some time and seeing the confidence, I didn't see this Sam, respectfully. And when you look at his career, I don't even think Sam Darnold has seen this Sam. Even when you go to USC, that wasn't that Sam. They wasn't battling or having contention for national championships. So when you see the evolution of who Sam Darnold is, this is a person that was told, yeah, we're going to move on from you. You wasn't a good fit for you. Hey, you got a lot of promise, but we don't see you as a starter. Jets, Panthers, Niners, Vikings. And now to have this particular moment to show the world, it's redemption, but it's kind of times 2. Because for anybody who've ever been forgotten, gave up on, or just said, you're not good enough, guy. Yeah. That's what Sam Darnold's story is, and he will benefit the most to be able to tell everybody, I told you.
And Shay, here's the other thing, because Cam made a great point. Minnesota told Sam Darnold he wasn't good enough after winning 14 games. Like they literally
You think they regret that?
Bruh.
They've been regretting it for months.
For months. A 2-game sample size is what they decided to make a decision on with Sam Darnold, as opposed to the 14 games where he played out of his mind. And I'm not saying he played out of his mind to embellish. He played out of his mind in Minnesota. We watched him play at a very high level. And that team, after you've been cut and released and backed up, that team still said, brother, you're not good enough. We don't think we can get to the point that we need to get to with you.
Respectfully, I don't think you touching on the biggest point of emphasis. It's 2 points. Number one, Justin Jefferson. I mean, you got an all-world receiver, and you would just abandon his needs like that. That's number one. That's just abandon him.
What about my needs?
Just abandon his needs. And Addison and Hawkinson, too. Let's not forget that. And number two, you did it for essentially a rookie who had not thrown an NFL pass. And J.J. McCarthy, last time we saw him, he was winning the national championship in Michigan, respect, but he tore the meniscus. He was out his entire rookie year. He had not thrown a pass in an NFL game, and you let Sam Darnold go under those conditions with Justin Jefferson as your weapon for that. Unforgivable. Unforgivable.
I think a thing that we need to touch on as well, and this is something that is, like, for me, very personal as an undrafted free agent, is when people think you are a certain thing. When you're drafted as high as Sam Darnold, you have to sometimes prove above and beyond that you can't play. Not that you can, that you can't. When you fell in New York the way he did, there was still a Carolina who was waiting to pick you up. When you fail there and it doesn't work, there's still a San Francisco that's going to give you a chance. There's a Minnesota that's going to give you a chance. And even there,